So, in this 2020 election cycle on the Democratic side, we have seen all of these candidates trying to do this dance of out progressiving each other. And even though most of them are corporate tools who don't mean a word that they say, they are trying their best to look as if they're for the cause. They're woke. They're with the shit. They're gonna fight for you. And with that, they have said some pretty outrageous stuff that even crosses a line for me. Now, I'm very progressive. I am very liberal. Like, if you put me on the spectrum of American politics, I would be very, very far to the left. Like, I'd be leaning over here. But, they are now saying some stuff that is crossing a line for me. And that is hard. At least in American politics, it is hard to say something that crosses a line for me. And one of those ideas has been reparations. Now, before I get into this, I just want to say I'm black. I'm black and I'm progressive. So I know what we have been through. I have seen the oppression. I have read about the oppression. I see the remnants of the oppression. 400 years of absolute destitution. I've seen it. Slavery, Jim Crow, mass incarceration, now the economic slavery that continues to this day. I've seen it. Don't get me wrong. But here's what you need to understand. There are much better and more efficient solutions than simply signing over a blank check every month or every year or just one lump sum to every black person across the country. That's a band-aid on a huge gaping wound of 400 years of oppression that needs to be fixed in a much more efficient way. All right? Reparations is not the answer. And most importantly, what is especially not the answer is allowing these fake, vapid, empty suits of corporate Democrats to go on TV and lie to you and try to court your vote and dupe you into going out into the voting booths and voting for somebody who doesn't give a damn about you. Go on national TV and they say something like that. It's an act of desperation. It's an act of shame. And they're trying their best to insult your intelligence because they genuinely believe that black people are going to listen to a white dude or even a black politician on TV and think, yeah, this person of major power actually gives a shit. He's saying exactly what I want to hear. He really cares. No, they are just trying to get your vote. They couldn't care less about you or your family. They're just saying whatever the hell they think you want to hear. They're strategists. They talk to them in these back rooms and they're like, hey, Corey. All right, now you're going on Power 105.1. Now this is a major black audience. Now you're black, right? So you have to make sure that you say something that really just ignites something, Corey, Kamala. Just ignite something. Reparations. That's a good. Yeah, black people love reparations. So then they go on national TV. They say something that nobody has actually studied. They're like, yeah, I support reparations. No, the hell you don't. Shut up. Just shut up. All right. So beyond that, the fact that they are just disingenuous, empty, vapid suits who couldn't care less about the actual issue and revitalization of our communities, let's dive into what reparations would actually do. Now, again, there's no economic major study that has actually studied the idea of reparations because it's such a fringe idea. However, we can look at what other social safety net programs would do for lower income minority communities. All right. Now, let's look at some of the major broad progressive agenda platforms of some of our progressive candidates. All right. Tuition-free public colleges and universities. Tremendous investment that is necessary for lower income minority communities so that our children growing up have a shot at getting a decent education without having to worry about the funds. All right. Infrastructure investment will create millions of jobs. We could target that for minority communities. And again, is another one of the major things we need to revitalize our community. Green New Deal, another jobs opportunity, which would of course transform our climate, but also provide the necessary investment that we need and the jobs that we need in order to revitalize our community. All right. And again, we have to keep in mind that when we are looking at revitalizing our communities, we have to look at education, we have to look at jobs, and we have to look at investment. We've already handled all of that by getting tuition-free public colleges, universities, infrastructure investment, Green New Deal, and then maybe community outreach programs, right? Reform our police system, right? Get rid of the war on drugs. Get our kids out of jail, for nonviolent crimes that have targeted that disproportionately target them, according to statistics, over white kids, Asian kids, and even Latino kids. All right. So those are some of the things that we can do to revitalize our communities that are not simply signing over a blank check every month or year or just in a lump sum. That's a band-aid on the root of the problem. What we need is education, jobs, investment, and you can add on ending the discrimination. And if we have simple progressive policies that attack the root of the problem, what you're going to be seeing is a much stronger community. But reparations is not the solution. Now, I'd hope that yes, they can go ahead and study the issue and maybe see what it would do, but that is not going to be the end-all solution to the problem. I'm telling you that right now. There are so many systematic flaws within the black community. Our kids are growing up sometimes fatherless, right? They're growing up with a lackluster education. There's no opportunities within our community, and the cycle is perpetually continuing generation by generation. These kids grow up, nobody giving a damn about them, and then they put that into their own kids. And it continues on and on and on. But if you attack at the root of it and you say, we're going to get you a job, we're going to educate your kids, we're going to invest in your communities, what you're going to be seeing is a much stronger community overall, where we can finally end this economic slavery that continues to this day. And also attack the epidemic of mass incarceration through ending the war on drugs and better educating our own police forces, having more better community outreach policing. All right. So, as I said, I want to conclude here just by saying reparations is a band-aid on a much larger problem that we have within the black community. Our community is lacking education, jobs, and investment. If you attack those three things, you will see a much stronger community than simply writing a blank check, plain and simple. And if you even allow some empty suit like Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, or any one of these corporate Democrats who wants to go on TV and insult your intelligence, please don't let them do that nonsense. They are duping you. They dupe you every election. Break the cycle. Break the cycle. Actually study the issue and actually think logically about it. Do they really care about me? Do they really care about my kids? And if they're going on TV just saying what you want to hear about an issue that has basically no actual study of the issue, then no, they don't care about you. And they're just saying what you want to hear. They just want your vote. They couldn't care less. Please break the cycle of voting for people like that. That's just a side note. And I'll get into issues like that later in other videos. So on that note, yeah, reparations is not the answer. It's a band-aid on a much larger problem. We have to actually use real progressive policies that have been studied and that would actually attack the root of the problem.